Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Music for a Book podcast, Season 3. We are your hosts. I'm Britt.
And I'm Hannah.
And every 2 weeks, we ditch the clowns and get the crown because, baby, we're the one to beat. We read a variety of books, give them a song, and walk you through the plot step by step.
Yes, and we're touching down, calling the amateurs, and cutting them from the team to celebrate the Super Bowl with a super cute sports romance, Playbook by Rebecca Jenshak.
Yes. And even though our team is unfortunately not, we still thought this would be a super fun episode to do. We had high hopes. But we're not going to talk about it. So how this episode is going to work is we're going to go over trigger warnings and a brief synopsis for the book. Then we're going to reveal our song choices. After our song choices, we're going to move into what we like to call spoiler territory. And this book is swirling with chemistry and banter. And honestly, who are we to fight the alchemy? Meaning, after that point, we'll be discussing anything and everything that happens cover to cover in this book. And this is a book that we will just be yapping about. This will probably be a shorter episode. With romance books, we just like to, yap and chat and have a good time. So that would be your time to pause the podcast, back out, and come back once you've read it. Otherwise, stick around. We're happy to have you.
Yes.
Dear reader.
So some book themes and warnings. We did grab these from Storygraph. Abandonment, sexual content, adult language, injury, alcohol use, death of a parent. It's a pretty standard romance when it comes to content warnings, so just check your triggers if you're concerned at all.
Yes. And then our synopsis, we grabbed this one from Goodreads. Brogan 6's fan mail has been filling my mailbox for weeks. With every lipstick-covered letter I receive, my irritation with him grows. And let's not talk about the time I accidentally opened one of the packages to find that someone had sent him their panties. Gross. When I come face to face with my new nemesis, I expect to give him a piece of my mind and we'll go our separate ways. Me to an empty mailbox and him to sift through his panty collection. That is not what happens. I don't know if it was the booze, his clever wit, or if I was tricked. I'm sure I was tricked. But now I'm fake dating the Maverick's hot new rookie. And I might just be the next woman to lose her panties to Brogan 6. Playbook is a standalone fake dating Grumpy Sunshine sports romance with banter, found family spice, and a guaranteed happily ever after. Guys, I'm so sorry. I hate that synopsis. I hate it so much.
I know. But it's a really cute book. It's
cute. A cute book, but like the synopsis makes me want to die.
Yes.
It's fine though.
Yes. All right, let's talk about our songs.
Our song choices. This one I feel like I had to kind of go cheesy with. Like it just felt right. You know what I mean? So I had 2 songs. They were both by Taylor Swift. I ended up landing on So High School by Taylor Swift. I just think that it's like, I don't know, like with her and Travis, it's their song and it felt very London and Brogan. Just, it's adorable.
Yes. And I also picked a Taylor Swift song. I picked I Think He Knows.
Ooh,
a lover song for a lover book.
An underrated representation.
I know.
I love I Think He Knows.
Me too. It's so fun.
It's so much fun.
Let's talk about this book.
Yes.
Spoilers ahead. XOXO Gossip Girl. Don't read ahead. If you don't want to hear about their love story, it is a happily ever after. That's not a spoiler. But if you want to just kind of stick around and you don't want to read the book, we'll just kind of chat about London and Brogan.
London and Brogan. And to kick things off, can we just talk about Brogan?
Or talk about how many times I wanted to just say Logan instead of London and Brogan. Even like typing the outline, I was like, that's their couple name is Logan.
Their couple name is Logan, and we love to see it. I will say, I think this cover is so cute. Like if you guys are watching, I don't know. I think this is adorable, precious. Love to see it. He does look a little too pretty.
Yeah,
he does look a little too pretty, but that's okay.
He's like supposed to be. He's supposed to be.
He is
like
supposed to be
pretty.
Pretty. But yeah, so the name, I know. So this is part of an interconnected standalone series that I was unaware of when we picked this book. Turns out there are not a lot of football based books. The only other one that I found was, I think, Say You Swear by Megan Brandy, which I know is a lot of people's fave, but it's just not a book that's ever really been on my radar that I would like to read. So when we found this one, we were like, perfect, great, amazing. But yeah, this is book 2, and actually book 3 just came out, which is Comeback, which actually features Archer. And I am really excited to read that one because it has obviously some deaf representation, ASL representation, which we see in this book. But I think in particular, getting Archer's love story is going to be super, super cute. Also, and if you guys are listening, this is Spoiler City. So I'm just letting you know now, it is off limits brother sister trope. So he is rooming with Brogan's like long lost sister, and it becomes kind of a forbidden situation.
I know, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But I loved Archer throughout this book. He's just like one of the brothers. Just great.
I love it.
All right. So for this book, we kind of went over in the synopsis, but basically it starts out, London has this P.O. box.
Yes.
That was once owned by Brogan 6. And she doesn't like know anything about sports, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So she has no idea who this person is.
Yeah.
Or why he's getting all this fan mail. And it's just obnoxious. And I think it's funny, like, when she's at the post office and she just reeks of, like, cheap perfume and everybody's like, what the heck is that? And just...
And the women at the post office are so sassy to her. Like, especially the workers when she's like, hey, this isn't my mail. And they're like...
We don't care.
It's your mailbox.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean?
Brogan is a super popular football player. He plays on the Mavericks in Arizona, which has Hannah's heart. Lived in Arizona for quite a few years.
He has this interaction with one of the reporters that, like, reports on the team. And, like, they have a conversation back and forth. And I feel like one of the lines that the reporter says, like, just kind of describes our perception of Brogan. And let's talk about how you're sleeping your way around town and making a mockery of the team.
Yeah.
I feel like it just shows, like, he doesn't take anything seriously, just woman after woman. Like, he's just very not focused on anything. Then we go back to London.
Yes.
And London's sister, Sierra, just got engaged. And I'm picturing, like, a manic corkboard, but, like, family tree style coming 100%. Up. So follow along with me. We have London's sister, Sierra, is engaged to Ben. Ben is brothers with Chris. Chris is London's ex-boyfriend. Chris now has a new girlfriend. And so London lies about having a new boyfriend.
Yes. Is everyone following? Are we all up to speed?
It's pretty straightforward, but it's just, there's a lot of people there. A lot of crisscrossing.
100%. And London's ex is disgusting. Hot caca. Like, he's gross. He's just one of those guys that, like, thinks that he's, like, the hottest shit to ever walk the planet and is using his current girlfriend to, like, actively try and make London upset about things and, like, just trying to rile her up and, you know, just really, like, condescending, demeaning, and just a general piece of shit. So that's all that you really need to know about Chris. But London also has a roommate named Alec, and her and Alec are besties. They are not, like, together. That does not work for them. Basically, after this whole debacle with the boyfriend and, you know, Sierra being engaged to her ex-boyfriend's brother, she's drinking and wallowing and having a night. And Alec's like, let's go. Up. We're going out. We're going to a nightclub and it's called Gaga. We're going to go party. And when they go out and party, so basically London and Alec are at this nightclub and there's a bunch of guys in this VIP area. And like we said, she doesn't follow sports, but she figures that they're all pro athletes. Now, here's the thing. Alec is the local weatherman and he has connections, right? And he notices, you know, these football players. London notices this, like, super, super hot guy, like this hot, pretty boy, so nice, finds out that his name is Brogan 6.
Yes.
So, like, what does she do?
Well, I think it's funny, like, how she's like, oh my gosh, he's cute. And then she's, like, eavesdropping, like, oh, wait, who is that? And she, like, marches up to him and is like, excuse me. Yes. Like, yo, change your forwarding address, bro. And he's like, what do you mean?
Yeah. Like, he's confused.
Yeah. And he, like, thinks she's, like, so pretty and gorgeous. And he's like, yeah, I had a P.O. box there. Yeah, please get your stuff out. Like, I'm tired of it getting your panties and, like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay. Because he's intrigued by her.
Yeah.
But because she's mad at him. She's not throwing herself at him like most of the girls that interact with him.
And that was really fun. But she goes back to her P.O. box after this whole situation, and she finds out that the junk is not arriving anymore, but instead there is a letter from Brogan 6 himself. And I thought this was so cute. I love like in any sort of romance for me, I love text messages exchanged, letters being written. Like I love written correspondence and like how different that can be from like verbal correspondence and stuff like that. So they exchange letters and she notices that like he's low-key kind of funny and he actually seems really nice. He actually puts his phone number on one and she thinks like it's weird if she just kind of calls him up like a normal dude, even though he's a pro football player. So instead of that, she writes him back.
Yep. Like you said, it's just so cute. Like I remember in Yours Truly, like when they started writing notes to each other. It's just adorable.
Love
and she gets giddy, like opening up her P.O. box, just waiting for like the next letter and
yes.
kind of have like a letter war back and forth to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And Brogan really wants to make it up to her. Like he keeps like saying that and for like dealing with his mail. And so he sends her tickets to a game. And Alec is like, hell yeah, we gotta go. Like, he's a fangirl. Like, he is diehard Mavericks fan, sports fan. And so they go to the game. And she does decide to finally text him after the game. Thanks him for the tickets. He does invite her to a party. And she's like, no, I'm not interested. And, like, doesn't want to, like, cross that line there.
Yep. Then Brogan sends box seats to a game. And she said she has no one to go with because Alec has a date. And Brogan's like, did you tell him they're like box seats?
Right? Like I'm pretty sure. I know. I feel like Brogan only met him like for a second at the club there, you know. But like,
yeah,
he's like, yeah,
no, we like this one.
Yep.
Now she does end up meeting him at the club after this game, and guess who shows up? That dumb motherfucker, Chris. We hate Chris.
Yes, we do. Chris is in the. Oh my gosh, what's his name? From Love and Other Conspiracies. Yeah, he's in the Cade. He's in the Cade Club.
Oh, and from Phantasma. We have we can just rename Chris to Cade and we can call it, or the C Club.
Yeah.
The C Club.
The C-Men.
Normally it's J-Men, but Abby Jimenez has changed my mind about that.
The C-Men.
The C-Men. The way my brain did not connect that, guys. I am unwell today. I'm having an autoimmune flare up and my brain is like scrambled eggs.
Right after I said it, I was like, oh my gosh. And you just kept going. And I was like, oh, Britt didn't.
I did not connect the dots on that. It's fine. So everything's great because this is where the story gets real messy. And Brogan is like a little too close to London, and now Chris thinks that this is London's new man.
Yeah, and like Brogan just goes along with it.
Why would he not?
Yeah, puts his arm around her, and Chris is like, "Oh, I'll see you at the engagement party, right?" He's like, "Yeah, of course." Brogan,
absolutely.
So this is where one of our favorite tropes come into play. They decide to fake date.
Ugh. I love fake dating.
Me too.
Love a good fake date moment. I mean, there are so many books with fake dating tropes that we just like adore. Everything from Yours Truly, Just for the Summer, How My Neighbor Stole Christmas had a really fun not fake dating trope.
Yeah, I love fake dating.
I love it so much. So they start to fake date because it's going to be mutually beneficial to each other, obviously. And London is going to date for wedding things, you know, with Chris and all that stuff. And Brogan is using London as a cover to make him seem more settled in his rookie year so he doesn't keep getting in trouble. It's perfect.
Which fair. Yeah. It makes total sense.
Absolutely.
But one of my favorite moments in this book, though, is this little charity event that they go to.
Yes.
So they the Mavericks are holding this charity event. Brogan signs London up for face painting because we didn't talk about what London does yet, but she during the day she works for Channel 3 News with Alec.
Yes.
And she kind of is like on the lower totem pole there. She on the side does like graphic design and illustrations and like designs covers, and so she sent some of her work to Brogan so he knows, so that's why he signed her up for face painting.
Yeah.
And I just think it's cute that she like does like full face painting on these kids because one person asked, and she says she's slower, but she just had a good time overall. And just the way too that they like vibe together with like his teammates, like she just fits right in because I don't remember where it was in here, but it still like stuck with me when they like one of our teammates said something. I don't remember what was said though.
Mm-hmm.
And she thinks to herself like, oh, should I have defended my fake boyfriend more? Instead, she like pushed back on it, but it just felt so natural, I thought, with them.
Yeah. Oh, one of the teammates comes up and is like, sorry I roughed up your boy. And she says, I'm sure he deserved it. I say, surprising myself with how easily the words tumble out, then second guess myself, maybe I should be quicker to defend my fake boyfriend.
Yep. So I thought that was cute. Like, it just like all those little things. I mean, we know it's a fake dating, so they're going to end up together, blah, blah, blah.
Obviously.
But just those moments that I feel like plays into like my song too. Like, I think he knows. Like, I feel like that just, they know that they like each other from early on, but they just won't admit it. And so I think it's cute.
Absolutely.
They do have a lot of like moments where they kind of like, where they talk to each other, which I hope they do in a relationship or not a relationship.
It's like, so they're fake dating each other. And like, there's a lot of moments where like they kind of talk to each other, which is so nice.
That's what fake dating is. Just wanted to define it for you if you didn't know. But they do like have a moment where they like cross the line of fake dating, where they do hook up.
Mm-hmm.
Then they kind of get deep and they like talk about Brogan's family, because Brogan calls Archer his brother, but they're not technically like blood brothers.
Yes.
So he grew up with them because like his family is like just horrible.
They suck. Basically, like the Holland brother family, the Holland brothers like brought him in, and that's how he grew up. We don't learn all about Brogan's family just yet, because it does come into play later that he feels like he's basically unworthy of being with London because of these things, and that how like fucked up and traumatizing his childhood would make him an easy person to leave, because that's all that he's kind of experienced in his life. So we dive a little bit into it more, but it does come back around in like terms of their conflict at the end for sure.
Yeah.
This book is like, this is just one of those super cute romances that I don't personally think is going to change your life, but I think it's just a lot of fun. And there's a lot of like lower stakes kind of situations. However, in this like section through here, as they're like trying to navigate hooking up with each other and like whether or not they're actually going to date, because it's clear that they both want to date each other, but they're both really holding back in general. But it comes time for the dual bachelorette party for London's sister Sierra, and Brogan rents a limo for it, and they all go out, and Chris is an absolute douche canoe piece of shit per usual, but just the way that like he takes control of the whole situation. And there's also a really spicy and hot hookup scene in the limo. I'm not gonna lie, that was like, I was like, hi. Okay. He paid the driver a little bit extra just to step out for a little bit.
There's this girl that's been like texting Brogan throughout the book.
Yes.
And it's like, her name's Sabrina, and texting him like, hey, we need to talk, blah, 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 all this stuff. And then she's actually at the bar that they go to.
London goes to the bar where they first started fake dating after a game with Brogan, and she's with some of the teammates, and she's talking to Trip, which is one of the guys on the team. Brogan and London are officially boyfriend and girlfriend now. So they started dating, they got over their shit, and they said, we're done fake dating, we're going to real date now. And they're just having a good time at the bar. And now Trip asks her like, oh, what do you think of the redhead over at the bar? And she's like, oh, she's too young for you. She looks 21, 22 maybe. Definitely outside of your age range, my guy. And basically she's like, knowing my luck, she's here to meet my boyfriend. Like, she's here to meet Brogan. They're like, joking around, acting like two detectives, they said, trying to crack the case is the description that the book gave. And also Trip had told London like, hey, you're not what he expected, but you're what he needs. Like, I can tell you care about him. You're not in this lifestyle for the glitz, the glamour, the fame. Like, you're in a bar in a t-shirt and jeans. You're not trying to steal the show. You're not like, you're here because you not love, but you know what I mean? Like, you like Brogan and you care about him. Here's the thing. She said that she struts across the bar with a confidence that reminds me of Brogan, and no sooner have I had the thought than she steps in front of my boyfriend coming back from the bathroom, and Brogan pauses and starts to go around her. Brogan is determined to like brush women aside, it's a part of the lifestyle that he lives, but he is with London 100%. Trip is like, go claim your man, and she's like, my man got this. Like, I'm not worried about Brogan, until she watches Brogan leave the bar with the redhead.
Scandalous.
And so they come back in. It's odd. She knows that there's so many different, reasons and explanations that this could be. She waits for Brogan to return. He slides back in, to the seat next to her, and she's like, haha, did you get like jilted by an ex-lover, is what she says. And he's like, you know me, the ladies can't get enough. Do you want another drink? She's like, okay, something is weird. Something is wrong. Something's going on here. She asks if he's okay, and he's like, I'm great. Next day, Brogan wakes up, and he is not great.
No, he's so hungover.
Yes.
And like wakes up and is like, crap, my girlfriend, I kind of remember her like getting me into bed last night, and just like not doing good. Of course, London's like, it's okay. Like, you had a good game, and cause for celebrating. He's like, is that what I told her I was doing last night? He like asked her like, oh, don't you have work right now? And she's like, no, I called in. I thought you might needed somebody to hold your hair back this morning. And I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah. They eat some bagels, and Brogan's phone is just like blowing up. And London sees the phone and is like, who's Sabrina? Yep. And Brogan answers, she's the girl from the bar last night.
Brogan.
Like, why would you answer it like that? And of course, London, right? And of course, London's like, why is she calling you?
Yeah, like, oh, she's just the girl from the bar.
Yeah. And then Brogan is just an idiot. Because then he's like, oh, well, I forgot. I thought you'd be at work. Like,
and here's the thing. I have qualms with a lot of third act conflicts and stuff like that. I thought that the way that Brogan stupidly handled this was so on brand for him. Like, he's just a little ditzy. He's just a little, protective of certain things, and he doesn't want to release all of this information about his life and his family. But as I was reading it, I was like, you idiot, Brogan, what are you doing?
I know. And London, of course, is like, bye. And grabs her purse and, starts to leave. He thankfully runs after her and is like, wait, like, I need to explain. Just give me 1 second. And just the way he says it, too, is just ridiculous. And then he finally tells her that, I like that London also jumps to like, oh my gosh, is she pregnant? Like, is she somebody you hooked up with in the past?
Yeah.
Brogan's like, no, she's my sister.
Yeah, like, buddy, you should have led with that.
Right? London does let him talk to her, like, alone. And is like, you know what? That's fine. Like, we have dinner with London. Like, London's like, we have dinner with my parents later. Brogan's like, Brogan, rewind it back. Like the new book. I'm like listening. Okay. I think I got it. After Brogan is like, she's my sister. Like, London calms down a little bit and is like, okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Cool. That's fine. And Brogan is like, I think I should talk to her alone because it's going to be awkward. Just like that whole little moment was. London's like, all right, will you call me later? Brogan remembers that they have dinner with London's parents later that day. London is like, hey, you're off the hook. Like, I'll cover for you. Like, this is a lot that you might have a sister.
Yeah, like, you don't have to be here.
Yeah. And he's, no, I want to come. I'll be there.
And I love him. We're going to talk about his defense of London real quick with her family. However, right before that happens, he's talking to Archer about everything that's going on. And Archer, we haven't talked too much about, but he is deaf. In the book, it is italicized when they're communicating via ASL. So if you're listening to the audiobook, because we did a little bit of both of reading audiobook, we have the Kindle copy, a physical copy, and the audio copy, because that's just how we roll here.
Yep.
But when it's italicized for large chunks, that's when they're speaking in ASL. They have this conversation, and I just had to mention this because Archer had a girlfriend as well. They end up breaking up, and Brogan's like, I thought you liked her. I thought, things were going really well. Archer said that she would cover her mouth or turn away from him while she was talking, and he uses lip reading as a way to really engage in conversation. So he felt like he was being being shut out a lot, especially because she wasn't fluent in ASL. To my knowledge, I could be completely wrong about that, but I don't believe she was fluent in ASL. And, you know, there's just that like little nugget there. And I wanted to mention that because, like we said earlier, the next book is about Archer. So I just thought that that was, you know, a nice little setup for, you know, what's to come for him. But they go to the event with London's family, and London's family is, so they're not like the type of family that's like Brogan's, where it's like outwardly abusive and things like that. But the way that they speak to each other, the way that they meddle, the way that they push like their beliefs onto what they want out of your life and your decisions. And so they're very adamant about London keeping a job that has a 401k, that has healthcare, and to not pursue these artistic endeavors that she's had on the side, even though they make far more money. It brings her far more joy, and there's so much more kind of wrapped up into it. So Brogan gets a little defensive with London's dad over these comments about her graphic design career.
Yeah, which understandable. Like, he wants to defend her, but also like his emotions are heightened after this whole Sabrina thing too.
100%.
Definitely hitting home in a different way for him.
Yeah, and it's like watching, I think for him it was like, she has this family and she has a support system. How could they not support her when I don't even have the support system to begin with? Yeah, like I said, while this isn't like a life-changing romance, I did think that there was a lot of heart in it still.
Yeah.
And there was, you know, some nice depth and stuff like that. But gets really defensive, and he blows up. Absolutely blows up on, you know, her dad. And it causes some tension. But I will say that when it comes time for her sister's wedding, her dad does apologize and does say that Brogan opened his eyes to the way that they were communicating with their daughter and the way that they were maybe shutting down her dreams just because they were outside of the realm of what they believed to be a normal and a stable career.
And so after like he blows up, he does tell London, like they kind of step away, and he's like, you know, I should go. I'm in a shit mood and I don't think anyone wants me back inside. And London's like, I do. Like, I don't care that you just argued with my dad. Like, you were defending me, and I understand that.
Yeah.
And Brogan just asks her if she can catch a ride home with her sister. And London's like, okay, yep, I can. I mean, they're in love with each other, but... And London asks him if he'll be okay, and Brogan feels like sorry and ashamed, and he feels like he embarrassed London in front of her family. And he doesn't really say anything to her after they kind of like hug. Then he steps away and just asks her for like a couple of days. And poor London, she just, like a flicker of hurt just like passes over her, and Brogan notices it. And she nods and like, what else are you going to say? Like, yeah, of course. Brogan, he needs to clear his head for a day or two. Brogan's just, you know, he's adorable now, even though he was an idiot a couple chapters ago.
He was.
But just that he understands that she's so understanding, and he loves her for that. He loves her, period. And he says it's about the worst fucking time to have that realization, like after all this happened. And it just makes me like my heart hurt for him though too, because right after that, he like thinks that she deserves so much better than him. He thinks to himself, if my own parents don't want me, why would anybody else?
Yeah, just a lot of deep-seated stuff. Like, I don't know, like the Holland brothers took him in when he was 14. And then, so not only did they put his sister up for adoption and let that connection, you know, go until he was older, he was mistreated by his family and then brought in by another family. There's so many layers to Brogan. And even though his name is Brogan, you know, he does have some heart to him. And he does have some story behind Brogan 6. I just can't get over the name.
I know.
I've been saying it this entire episode, and I'm like, Brogan.
I know.
Brogan?
I was just reading ahead a little bit about when Brogan and Sabrina like meet up and like Archer's there. Just like, I can't wait for Archer's book because it's just cute, like the way they like interact already. And Sabrina's telling Brogan about, you know, they're talking about their life and kind of catching up on all these years that they missed. Sabrina says that she is working at a nightclub as a cage girl. And Archer like signs like, did your secret sister just say she's a stripper? And Brogan replies no. And so Brogan tells Sabrina, like, just making sure he understood, like, Archer's deaf, but he's pretty good at reading lips.
Yeah.
then like Sabrina looks at Archer, which we know like his ex-girlfriend didn't look at him while talking or anything, and tells him that she dances with her clothes on, but stripping is nothing to be ashamed of. She knows ASL, and so she like signs to him and is like, I think it's cute. Like she signs, if you're going to talk shit about me, you will have to find another way.
Yes,
I
love
cute.
that. Love that. But yeah, so basically, like after some space, Brogan talks to Sabrina. You know, they start to have this bond. What ends up happening is Brogan sends London box seats with like a cute little letter, says, "Meet me after the game." However, they don't get that in time. So her and Alex sit in the nosebleed section for the game, and Alec is pissed about it. London, you know, makes her way down to the field, and they have their like cute little reunion moment, which is why we kind of use the song The Alchemy for, you know, our book, because it was just like shirts off and they lift you up over their heads, like cheers or beers, something on the floor, cheers chanting when they said whatever the lyrics are. I can't think right now. And it was just like such a cute little reunion moment. And they end up coming together, and his brothers, he calls them again his brothers, the Holland brothers, are all there, you know, mischievously behind him and like, who's this? We know it's London. Hee hee. And yeah, there's just a lot of really cute stuff. They have the wedding. We move into like our happily ever after little epilogue moment. And yeah, this was just like a really fun book. And at the end, because, you know, everything comes full circle in our little epilogue, this is probably an epilogue. My guess is that Hannah did not like this epilogue.
Wasn't crazy about it.
Was it? Yeah,
but I'm starting
bad.
to just like just go with the flow. I'm starting to just treat them as like another chapter. Like I know they basically are, but
yeah. If you guys don't know, Hannah, for the most part, strongly dislikes epilogues and would prefer to just skip them.
Yeah.
So
I feel like, yeah, there's just been a couple weird epilogues that I've read lately that just kind of have put sour taste in my mouth. So
yeah, so it's fine. But they, you know, try and do this like fun little role play thing at their original bar and like pick each other up. And Brogan has a limo, and then on the way back around, they do swing by the post office, and in the PO box is the ring that he proposes to her with. And she's like, has this been in here all day? What's going on? They had a plan. Don't worry, no one was going to steal the ring. It's not like we're trying to steal the Declaration of Independence or anything. Everything is fine. And they end up getting engaged. It's really cute. Like I said, we had sister's wedding, reconciliation with her family, and we did like a very high level yappy version of this book. It's so cute. Like, I still think that if you wanted to read this book, even after listening to our episode, you could definitely still read it. Like, it's a romance, so like, you know what to expect. You know you're going to expect a happily ever after. We didn't talk about any of like, really, there's a good amount of spice in here. There's like a good mixture of everything, some laugh out loud moments. So that was Playbook. But yeah,
and as you probably know from our previous romance book reviews, Britt and I do not have the chemistry that these couples do, so we don't talk about that banter. So you need to read it so you can experience
correct
London and Brogan. Let's talk about our songs.
So I did So High School by Taylor Swift. It's really cute. Like, I feel like it gives that kind of buoyant, like early relationship type of feeling. And it just says, I feel so high school every time I look at you. I want to find you in a crowd just to hide from you. And I feel like that's, you know, their like playful relationship and also part of the end of the book there. But it says, in the blink of a crinkling eye, I'm sinking, our fingers entwined, cheeks pink in the twinkling lights. Tell me about the first time you saw me. It's just so cute. Like, I'll drink what you think, and I'm high from smoking your jokes all damn night. In the brink of a wrinkle in time, bittersweet 16 suddenly. This is so much easier to sing than it is to speak.
Yeah.
Like, I'm about to get tongue-tied here. But it says, I'm watching American Pie with you on a Saturday night. Your friends are around, so be quiet. I'm trying to stifle my sighs because I feel so high school every time I look at you. Which is really funny because Brogan lives with Archer before, you know, the end of the book here. You know, the team's always around. I feel like, you know, they're trying to keep they started real dating, but they were fake dating, and they were trying to make everyone believe that they were real dating, even though they were fake dating. And I love this. Are you going to marry, kiss, or kill me? It's just a game, but really, I'm betting on all three for us too. Like, It's just, you guys, this song is so cute. Get my car doors in that suite, then pull me to the back seat. No one's ever had me, not like you. Hello, limo scene. Hello. Hi. This is really funny. Truth dare spin bottles. You know how to ball. I know Aristotle. Brand new full throttle. Touch me while your bros play Grand Theft Auto. Like, talk about a whole football team situation. This too. Hannah, I don't know your feelings on this, but it's true. Swear Scouts honor. I've heard some iffy things about this line. You know? Okay, Taylor, whatever you need to do there. You know what you wanted and boy, you got her. Just like how fun. And then I feel like laughing in the middle of practice. Do that impression you did of your dad again. I'm hearing voices like a madman. And then it repeats the lines that I can't speak out loud right now because I feel like I'm going to sound stupid if I try and read this chorus part again. But I love this song so much. It's just so cute. It gives me those like fluttery kind of, I don't know, like I said, like that early relationship type of vibe. And that's the vibe that I got from London and Brogan in this book, which is why I picked So High School. And obviously it is an ode to Travis and Taylor, you know.
I mean, Brogan is a tight end like Travis.
That's what I'm saying. I will say though, I was a little concerned about this ending up as like a Travis and Taylor fanfic because I know that was part of the problem with us trying to find a football book was like a lot of them are just glorified fanfics of Taylor and Travis. And this is not that in any way, shape, or form.
Nope.
This stood on its own. It's so cute. But yeah, love this song.
Yeah, me too. I picked I Think He Knows from the Lover album by Taylor Swift. And it starts off, I think he knows his footprints on the sidewalk lead to where I can't stop, go there every night. And I feel like this song, I said it during the episode too, but it just feels like fake dating-ish to me, where it's like, I think he knows. But does he know? Like, I think he knows. It goes into the song and says, he got that boyish look that I like in a man. I am the architect. I'm drawing up the plans. It's like I'm 17. Nobody understands. And I feel like that also plays into like the So High School vibes too. Like, she just feels so giddy, especially like reading these letters and like nobody really understands. And it makes her feel just happy. It's cute. The song is adorable.
It's so cute.
The line, like, I want to see what's under that attitude, just makes me think of, like, from Brogan's side when he first encounters London and she just comes at him hard. Like, he's like, yeah, I want to see what's under that attitude. It's just cute. And it goes into, like, I want you, bless my soul. And so just, I feel like it's just, like, that breaking point where, like, they're, you know, in that fake area, but they're like, nope, you know what? We're going for it. So in this last little part, it asks, like, where are we gonna go? I think he knows. Like, I whisper in the dark. And I think that's just right where the, like, fake dating. It's like, all right, where are we gonna go? Like, what are we gonna do? And I just think they know. They know.
He knows. Love it. All right. So let's talk about our final book ratings for Playbook by Rebecca Jenshak. If you are unfamiliar, we rate into the moon and to Saturn. I rate in moons, Hannah rates in Saturns, just because on the pod, we wanted something outside of the traditional star scale to accommodate more of like, you know, our vibes. So I am going to go. This is where I feel like vibes rating come in 100%. Because like I said, I don't think this is life changing, but I had a good time. So I'm going with 4 moons. I feel like 4 moons is a solid rating for this. It's super fun. It's super cute. A light and easy read. And yeah, I had a good time with it.
Yeah. Mine is going to be 3.75 Saturns.
So close.
Right. So close. I couldn't quite give it a 4, but the vibes were there for sure.
Love that. So our next review episode is going to come out in 2 weeks if you're listening when this releases, and that is on February 19th, where we're going to be reviewing the YA fantasy hit Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. And I'm really excited to talk about that one.
Me too. But don't worry, on February 12th, we have an episode from the Vault, a Dear Reader Galentine's edition. So we'll be featuring our favorite romance books and authors just in time for Valentine's Day.
Yes. So thank you all so much for listening. We really appreciate it, especially on one of our yappier, chattier type of episodes.
Yes. Please, please, please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and interact with us on Discord and Patreon. We would appreciate your support that way. It does help us keep our book addiction going and providing you with these reviews.
It sure does. So we will see you next week for our Galentine's special from the Vault track. And then we will see you the following week for Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo.
Yep. And always remember, keep reading with kindness.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.